And good morning, welcome to Mess Up Gaming. Today we are doing our city of Rockwood. We got to 40,000 people in the last episode, and I've left it running, so we're up to about 41,000. We've still got massive demand here for commercial. That's just off the charts at the moment. But what we're going to do here is focus on our city centre and get our train going backwards and forwards. So what I want to do is, firstly, we did our little grid here. I want to pop down our train station now. This thing's not as big as I initially thought, but I do want to put it in the middle, and I want to have a pedestrian area around it. So what we'll do to begin with is paint in our little pedestrian area. Let's just extend on a bit more. And if we go over to here, pedestrian areas, before we get any of the paths I want, we've got to drop a service point. So we'll chuck him down there, and we'll move that afterwards. And service roads here, we've got lots of them. Now I'm thinking, just to show the difference, we're going to go the street trees with grass, large sandstone, because you've got greys, browns, some with grass, some with trees, some with bus lanes. But I want to go that, I reckon. And I want to have the train stop in the middle. So if we put that there, if we go back to our public transport, I need to move that down because it's not quite in the middle. So if I get rid of that, we go back, put it in, move our train station down, that's getting better. Whoops, okay. Are we in the middle? No, I don't think we are still. It's damn close though. So 800, oh, 400, 440, yeah, it's pretty close to the middle. We'll leave it there. So this is going to be our main little strip. We will have roads around it. And yeah, we'll put some trees or shops this side. So let's go and connect this up to what we want. Now we're coming down the hill here. So that is putting in a bridge. I don't really want a bridge. Can I go up one, up two? No, let's reduce the margin. Try that. So what is that? That's one. Actually, let's go in the other direction. What is this height here? If we go 1, 2, 3, okay, so 9 meters above. And what I'm going to do is kill off this path so we can draw in a train. Why is it not really drawing? Is that stupid road? Right, so let's just sever that. Oops, no, let me move it over one and put in a train line, the S. Space already occupied. I don't get it. I can't explain that. So we'll extend this along. Keep extending, keep extending. Now we do want to do a circle, some turning circle, but we can always line that up afterwards. Now, what's the height here? So we come down 3, that should be almost it. Let's go about there. I want to loop that in. Yeah, that's a pretty good turn, that is. Going up, going up. Yeah, that's a bit janky. Don't really like that. Right, so if we come from there, we're going to go straight up one. And it's just not going to let me do it without that, is it? One more go. You're just not going to let me do it, are you? Yeah, look, that doesn't look... Oh, you know, it still does look bad. But you know what? That's about as good as it's going to let me do. Let's just draw that down to about there again. And let's just swing that around. No, it's not letting me swing it around now. Come on, silly thing. And that. Okay, so we've got a bit of a chink here. I reckon I'll get that smoother. I'm not overly impressed with this ending, but you know, if this is what the game's going to give me, the game is going to give me. And I reckon that's probably 2 stick for trains, but you know, what can I do? I can only work within the game unless anyone out there's got some ideas on what to do. So if we drag him up, chuck it into there, let's make sure we still got stations here. We do awesome sauce. Okay. So we need to put road and rail and everything up to there. We also need to grow our city. We have such a demand for commercial. It is just ridiculous. So what I am going to do is go like that. Now that is for 20. Let me just block those crossings. How do I get the people from one side of this railway line to the other? How do I get the cars across? Well, let me go that. So we got that one. So if we come across, let's turn it down. No, actually, no, we can just do a crossing. I don't want massive amounts of traffic going through, and this will stop traffic. Yeah, it's me. We do need to do an intersection here. So while we're here, because you know, at the moment, too much commercial is not enough. We want to have a loop here for our trains. So let me just draw this in and I'll come back to you. Okay, so I've drawn in my loop. It's probably not as pretty as I could do, but it wouldn't let me make these corners any nicer. That one there's alright. That there's plausible. This one here is sort of a bit, I don't know, a bit off and a bit wonky. I tried it 3 times, just could not get it any nicer. One more going, why not? So I'm going to come off of here. I want to come along. No, I want to go to there. Yeah, that's a bit better. Yeah, we'll go with that. I mean, God, it's not perfect, but, you know, train can come along. It's a bit wiggly. It's more wiggly, actually. What's that? Oops, I may come along. Yeah, like that. Yeah, look at that. 3rd time's a charm. It appears to work. Cool. So if we kick this off again, and we've got our train station here, our train station, going interstate, international or interstate traffic, intercity traffic. Cool. And we've got a freight train, and this is all commercial, and the train can just run through the middle of it. It does not really matter. Cool. So we've got that there. Now we do need to move this because I'm not overly impressed by where that is. Takes care of cargo and garbage for buildings on a pedestrian lane. I do like having that there though, just so there's somewhere for people to pop out. And what I'm thinking also I'm going to do, get a smaller one, just to connect this up. Now, can we move this? And again, if I just join that back up. And you're not going to let me do that, are you? You're just going to be silly. No, you are going to let me do that. Okay, again, you're just being silly. You put our road through there so that allows people to walk around it. Yep, cool. I'm happy with that. So, I'm going to leave that where it is for now. Let me just do our streets here because we've got our grid. And if you hold down the left button, you can basically just trace these suckers in. Makes it very, very efficient. You're not clicking on your mouse 1,000 times. And there we go. Now I did change that, so let me just change that back, because I don't want people walking around there. This I'm going to put, it's got to be inside a pedestrian area, of course it does. Right, so we'll put that there. Let's just narrow this off, because we don't need this much pedestrian area. And I'm sure it's going to charge us by the amount we are using. And we'll put you there. Well, we're in a pedestrian area, you silly thing. Okay. Awesome. Right, now let's just move you over. Alright, and then I can kill off the extra area I do not want to be charged for. Enough. And just in case there's a tantrum. Sweet. So, what we want to do here is make this a district. Make this up just a little bit. Okay, and what we want to do is then we go to our specialist tabs here. What do we have? What do we have? Commercial wall to wall and commercial offices. Offices, we have nothing really. Okay, that's awesome. Okay, so what we're going to do is put in offices and commercial down here. We've killed off our commercial demand, which is good. We've still got residential demand, which is fine. We will join this road here up. That's what we're here. That so it's going to annoy me. And yes, we're going to do a different road just to do a boundary. Okay, that's looking better. Now this here will cut through. We might just put that through there as well, and then we've got a slightly bigger gridded area here. Again, don't know what I'm going to do. Maybe do some housing, more commercial here, but we'll see. So what we can do is up here is start to plan out our city. Now, before we do though, let me go bridge. So I will forget otherwise. I'm gonna go up 1, 2, 3. No, 4. Cool, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's just put it out this side so we've got it. Now this side obviously can't go right into there, because that's gonna look horrible. That's the drop off of death. So what I'm thinking is I'm gonna split it. I'm gonna have some coming that way, some coming that way. And we will go one-way roads. That one. If we're coming up here, that's not going to really work, is it? Let me just put this up. I have an idea, as they say. Right, I'm not a big fan of that. I'm going to just go 1, 2, 3. So that's got us going up. Yeah, that's alright. And then if we go to our, here it is, we can then put in our, we are getting very close to this, so we don't want to be too close to that intersection. This we don't want to be too close because I can see a traffic issue there, so let me just put this one on this side here. That's not too bad, okay. This side we've got a bit more latitude with what we're going to do. Yep, now that works, okay. And then this side again. Yeah, that looks a little bit... That does not look normal. That looks better. Well, that is steep. That is very steep. What can I do? What can I do? I have an idea. So if we get rid of that, we delete that, we'll come back and put you in later. And we do our terrain tool. We want to go from here, say there. So let's cut all that out. Let's see if we can get an entrance in. No, let's try from here. No, okay, let's try. How does that look? Yeah, it's just, it really just doesn't want to do it nicely, does it? It just wants to make it bloody horrible. And now, oh, now I've gone too low, okay. That, the height there is alright. That's about the best I'm going to get that. I'm not happy with it. I just don't know how I can get any smoother. If you've got ideas, chuck them in the comments. Let me know. Always more than interested to see the better way of doing anything. But again, it may not be pretty, but it works. So we'll just turn off the traffic lights there. We don't have any more traffic lights set up here, do we? I've got to check. No, we don't. We have a massive thing of water being an issue. So while we're here, let's put down water pipes through. And we'll direct our water pipes all the way up to here. Okay, so we got water. Now, our buildings. Let's see, what do we have here? Let's put it this way. So we got our harbour entrance here. We're going to do another harbour entrance probably in here somewhere, because I don't think one's going to be enough. So if we go to Content Creator Packs, we've got all of these buildings here. So what I want to do is find a couple of the tallest ones. That's 280, 230, 230, 230s, 212. $260. Oh, look at that. I like it. So I'm going to put a couple of the bigger ones around. So what's that? That's the Aussie building. That is slightly smaller building. So we'll put you near the coast or the river. You're slightly small as well. And you are a small little nuggety thing. I might put you even there. 245. That's a good height. That will line up with that one nicely. Wow, look at that. No, actually, let's go back. I like these. Or, you also want to come off. You want to go off it there. I reckon if we put one... Ah, there's an idea. Right, let's go back to our little road. And what we can do... We go back to our little buildings here. Put one facing that way. One there. Yeah, I don't mind that. As you come up the train, you'll be looking at those. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Then we might do the same sort of thing here. Oh, bookends almost on the road. That makes sense. And I might even just put the last one. Would it already exist? Oh, yeah, put your little brother there. And then what I might do, just so we get a bit of airflow through between these, center you up a bit more. Yeah, it's not looking too bad. Okay, let me just put down a couple more of these. Another big, nice tall one. Yep. What's that? It's not as tall. Where should I put that one? We need a bit more over here. What's that? 300. Wow. Okay, I like the look of this one. Right. I'm going to put you... it's not going to let me use it. Nope. As you come up the railway line here... I reckon right at the end of that. Although, if we continue this on... No, trains come out and go around, yep. I don't mind that. I like the look of that building. That's pretty cool. Okay, so let me just fill it in here with a couple more. What's this one here? Oh yeah, that one looks pretty cool too. I think I saw it had a little brother. It does. We might put you over there because you two have been built together. Cool. I just want to put in a couple more. What do we have here? That's a little one. Yeah, that looks alright there. What else looks pretty cool? What else do we have? What else do we have? Oh, another fairly tall one. Okay, you can go in about there. We're getting a pretty good skyline, I reckon. Just want to get another tall building. What do we have? 119, 228. Yeah, that doesn't look too bad, does it? What do you reckon? Let me know in the comments. We got a bit of a mixture. You got a couple of round ones, got a square. I like these two. And we come down and look at these up close. Lovely balconies. You can see it's air conditioning. It's got some great detail here. It's pretty cool. Now, what's the one? It's got its own little trees on it, has it? Yes, it has. That's cool, that is. I like that. So we just spin around this side. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Now, where's this big one? Where is the big tall one I liked? Here it is. If we just go up. Wow, look at that. The view you're going to get from up there, that is at night. That's going to be glorious. All the way out to where we plan to put our airport eventually. Okay, awesome. I like. I'm not going to put in too many more. Okay, so what I want to do first is put down our service point again that we killed. Let me just draw. Yeah, it's a bit hilly, but you know. Can we push this out a little bit more? So we'll let it get some buildings on the edge here. Not really sure how that rock's hanging on. Well, hopefully it's coming out of the ground. Okay. We've got our service centre there. We do need office work, office shops, I should say. So let me just put these in. Don't put any more along there. Let's fill that in. We might put in a set of shops there. We'll fill this in here with just some smaller shops. And we'll chuck offices through here. So I can see we have massive demand. Okay. Let's just see how that grows out. Now it's got water, it does need power. Now why are we still flashing power? Do we need more power generation done? We do. Okay, let's move back over to where our power systems are. What do we have here for power generation now? We've got the nuclear reactor at 640. Yeah, I reckon we are going to go one of those. So let's get rid of that. We'll chuck him in here. I mean, look, a bit controversial, but it is green if you ignore the pollution at the end of the day of the radioactiveness. That's doubled our production. Cool. We have good money, so not an issue. We have water. We need more water here. We're still polluting, are we? Okay. Ground pollution, drinking water pollution. Drinking water pollution. Oh, over that side, yeah. This is something we're going to have to fix at some stage because this is just horrible. And then we just put another one of these in while we're here. And some more drinking water. Cool. Now we've got finally some demand for housing coming on. Now we've got, I do want to do a cut through if I can find the correct road here. And you will notice boom gates. So there's another train coming through. Here it comes. Boom gates go down, train goes through, boom gates go up. That's epic. And that's not what we'll fix that later on. So we've got our high rises here working. Cool. Now we do need power. Why are we still complaining about power over here? We connect up there. But this is not. Now it is. We have water through there. Yep. Cool. Right. Let's start to see this thing grow. How is our trains going? Holy crap. 300. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stations. Right, let's go for 5 trains. I just want to cut that down. We may even go back to 4 trains. But I just want to see what this station here, which is this one here. Oh yeah, look at them all. Holy dolly. Next train. Get rid of it. We're down to, we've still got 100 here. Still 100. Okay, let's finally clear that out. Wow. That's just insane. And if we go down to here, we have 240 on, 270 waiting still. That's just insane. Right, let's go 6 of these. 1, 2, yep, cool. That should at least alleviate some of that. But you know, that's awesome. We are saving so much usage of cars that I'm not going to be upset by that. We're 91% traffic still. We're only going to cut little hotspots that are busy-ish. Why do we have so many people here going? You want to go straight? Why are you using both lanes, you silly things? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to update this with that one so we can see it's different. And that might allow more traffic. Just enough to sit so well on. Yeah, more lanes aren't always better. We've got lots of traffic going into here. We've got buses as well. I guess the bus is holding it up. Okay, so what I'm going to do is that buses have their own lane and we have a turning lane in and out. So hopefully the buses will start to use that red bus line. And you're not, but okay, right. So we are still going. Are people using our Plazas? Yes, they are. Excellent. The trains are zipping along. We have... Do we have any interstate travelers here? Let's have a look at that. Tourists. Yeah, we've got tourists. We've got trains coming across. Yeah. We've got congestion happening here. Well, maybe we need to put in two. A station for normal, and then a station for intercity. Maybe. But we'll leave that at the moment. It's not doing too bad. It's working. Yeah, we don't have too much of a hold up. And our city centre here is looking pretty cool. Because of these buildings here got a bit higher. And I guess they are still all upscaling. I have to talk to my kids. I'm sure they had some buildings that were really tall here for this area. So I might have a word to them later on and see. Now, we are not enough water. We have water. Okay, you are being missed out. I'm not going to even try and work out what's going on there. So we have people, we have our city centre, we have commercial area. We need people. High density living is what we need. So I'm going to build this area out here. And that can go under. So let's go different grid. I want to leave a gap in the middle again. Can do I? Yes. 2 gaps. Actually, no. I'm just going to pack these people in here. This is going to be a high density living at its best. What was that? That was 1380. So we'll go 15. And we'll go to about there. And can we do it parallel with this wall? We can. Right. So let me know if you in the comments if you think I'm doing the right thing here. But this will obviously add, and city centers are dense places. There were always a lot of people in a city center. If you've been to some that, like I have, they pack them in. It's standing room only. I can understand why, because it's where the work is. So I can understand why you would do it. Would I live there? Probably not. Do I like it? Well, if I'm not going to live there, probably not. But I can see why they do, because for developers, it's bloody good. More people, more money, everyone's happy. So I am going to put along this rail corridor here just to block off the noise. Some offices. And I'll check some along here. Cool. Now we've got a park actually, haven't we? So no, let's not do that. Now I'm gonna go there. And then what I'm gonna do is drop in another road to go through here. I'm gonna put in another school. I just think another school would be a good idea, especially with all these houses, residential area I'm dropping into here. So we'll go that. We just need a normal high school though, and we'll turn this area here into a educational precinct-y type of area. We will then go weekly path. And all those things, I believe, are buildings that are scaling themselves. Yep, with the little icons across, it's already done once. And you'll see some of these start to move. We click over here. The blue means it is about to ping again. We've got that there. Now let's just put a couple of parks in here. Jesus, that's huge. That's also ginormous. Let's go back to our normal parks. We'll put in doggy park, yeah. So we've got a playground with the basketball courts. Doggy park is always a good idea. What do we have here? Ooh, colourful trees. I was going to dot these around. That makes that look a little prettier. A couple down the side. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad. And that's accessible from both. Now what I am going to do is we go path. No, I can't double path over there. No, I can't. Or can I? No, wait, let me. Alright. We come down to that. Cool, and we just make this along. No, that is far too hard. Do not like that at all. Let's just drop that down to 6. Right. No, okay, we've gone too low now. So if I go back to my path, you'll see what I'm trying to do here in a moment. No, that's not working what I want to do. Let me move back down to there. No, it's not going to let me do it either. That should then allow people to travel from that train station all the way along, and people can then go up a bit as well. Is anyone interested in doing that yet? We're kind of ignoring it, aren't we? Which is bizarre. I would have thought people would have started using it. Right, let me just redraw it in. To there. And we'll just leave it. We'll see if anyone actually bothers. Gee. Oh, that's why. This side's not connected to anything. Oh, well then, aren't I an idiot? I'm wondering why people like using a path that goes nowhere. Holy crap. And no, that didn't work either. Okay, I'm being stupid here doing something. Right, I'm gonna go. No. Up 2. Up another 1 or 2. Right. That, what's that? Right. Yeah, that's alright. Right, finally, we got the ramp working at least. So while we're here, we're just checking a few trees. Let's make this look a little bit better. Now this for me would be a bit close. But then again, buildings I worked in definitely do put in quite soundproofing windows. So yeah, but now what's going on with these people? Wow, talk about a flood. So what are they all doing? Tourists. Right. Okay, I did hear this could be a problem. We are all pouring in and out. So now let's make sure there's no traffic lights on here. Let's do open. Traffic lights, yeah, that's the problem again. God, I hate traffic lights. So we're making it really busy here. What's our roadway congestion? Traffic is 88. Yeah, because these streets here are copping a thrashing. Right, because we're getting held up here. So then we changed it to like what I've seen in Melbourne, where they do go, and the main streets to try and divert all the traffic through. They do double them up. So I want to get you to travel that way. Let's see if that'll alleviate some of the congestion. And and I keep hitting the wrong button. Look at that. I'm an idiot. And it does. Fantastic. We still have trains coming out of our kazoo here. That is a passenger train. That is people coming in from outside. You can't say that these trains are not efficient. Look at that. Okay, so it's working. The city is working. And I do like that. So I do want to have a little bit more. I do want to have another way for people to get down here. Not necessarily though with the road. But if we go path. So who's going to, how do we make this better? What I want to do is have it. So people can walk down, but that's a nice, it's a nasty kink you got there. Yeah, people were starting to walk up there. Yep, look at that. So if we just move that to there, that'll then get people walking up and down. And that should also then not people necessarily walking around. But what we could do, and I'm sure I've not done this properly, and we can also, let's do that. So a path there. Path to there. And then we'll wander this around. One to there. And what we could do is just go. Oops, up too steep. And that should then get people walking along this path to get up. Now, I'm not really sure what the hell that is. And they seem to be going through the mouth. Okay, let's see if we can soften that up a little here. That too big. Now, what I want to do is just push this out a little bit. Let's soften it. Yeah, look, that's steep, but I reckon that's walkable. Maybe not. But, you know, they're walking it. And because that's working so well, we will put the path down to there. And we'll just join this up here. And that is busy. That's what I want to see. That is nice and busy. People are pouring out. Oh, I keep hitting the wrong button. People are pouring out. I'm not sure what he's doing. He's inspecting a crime scene. Okay, you're off. But that's incredible, the amount of people here. It's 800 people. I'm going to say 700 for some reason, but 800 people. That's fantastic. Okay, so we've got our city centre going. We've got our trains connected. We are growing this out here. We're up to 46,000. We have some more demand for residential, which we'll put there. I am going to put some office blocks just along the water's edge here. So we still have massive demand. Anything and everything. I'm going to put some offices along here just to screen the noise off. So I think that would be a really smart thing to do. And it still allows our path on that side to go along. And we've got a walking path here. And we might just chuck some shops along that one. And some more offices along this back road here. And again, offices block out the noise. So we definitely want to be putting them in. Now, if I sever this, is this going to be a massive issue for me? No. Because we have got power linked through here. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So we'll put the offices along there. I'm going to chuck those there. A bit more housing. We definitely will need more housing. And I think we'll leave it as that for this episode. We are expanding out nicely. I mean, look at our city grow. Since our first episode over here with industrial, which we moved, residential, we got our farmlands going. We are making good money. 20-30 grand, probably not as much as I was hoping, but we've got some public transport. We're making some money with our industry, and look, it's going good. Our city is growing. We're up to 47,000. Probably not as many growing as I would have liked. We've got to get to 55, but look, we've got a good hearty setup here. So next time I think we'll build the airport out, extend the train along, and just flush this out with some more people there and here, and that should definitely get us going. So until then, we'll see you next time. Thank you all for watching, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video.